So hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining our free online lesson. Right, so welcome Yusuf, welcome Ting, Editaman, Ahwat, Mazam, and also IGMC OPM. Right, so thank you everybody for joining our free online lesson for today. Right, so for today's, I would like to share with you about the AutoCAD external references. Right. So we will be taking a look on some of the tools that we use to reference some of the files into our AutoCAD. Right. So we're going to take a look on sample files, and we're going to attach the files, manage the attached files, and we can also edit the external reference files. So let me share my AutoCAD. So I hope you guys can see. So let me just share my screen instead. All right, so first of all, what I have here is a drawing one. It's just a simple empty drawing. Right, so to add our external references, you can type in xref in the command xref, which stands for external reference, press enter, and you will see these external references dialog box appear. Now, if you don't remember the command, which is xref, xref, you can also go into the view tab over here, and you can find on the palette. So there's a small icon over here, which is external reference palette over here. So you can just click over here, and the external reference dialog box will appear. Right, so for this case, let me just open one, and to make things easier, I'm going to pin this one on the left side. So I have my external references ready and available from here. Now, the first things that I would like to do is that I'm going to attach one of the sample files, which is created using the DWG as well. So for this case, on this external reference dialog box over here, you can go and drop down. So we have attached DWG file. You can also attach image files if you want. So DWF, PDF, point cloud, and also attach coordination model, which is for Navisworks files. So you can also do that. But for this case, we're going to only focus on some of the most common things, which is one of the things is DWG files. So I can click over here and find the location of my drawing files. So for this case, I'm going to pick the path geolocations drawing files over here, and I'm going to open. So once you open, you will see some of the things that you can set up. So if you want to change your drawings, you can also click browse and select the other types of drawing that you want to change to. And over here, we have a reference tab. So we have attachment and also overlay. So what this does is that if you pick attachment, and for this part geolocation, to be inserted inside of this drawing files, and then if I open the other drawing files, then I want to insert drawing one into the other one. So the attached file, which is part geolocation, already being attached to drawing file one. When I reattach drawing one to another one, so this part geolocation will be shown as well. But if I choose overlay, this one will only show on drawing one when I attach this one on this drawing one. So if I attach drawing one on another files, this file drawing part geolocation will not be bring up as well. So that is the difference between these two. So over here, you can also choose whether your input method, so whether you wanted to scale it, your drawing size, or you wanted to pick the insertion point, so you can specify the value over here. For this case, I'm going to leave it at this as a default. So make sure this one is unchecked, and it will automatically bring that particular drawing based on its original coordinate. Now we also have path tab over here. So we have no path, so which means once it's input this one, it will not be linked to that original files. So if I have relative path over here, what it's going to do is that it's going to ensure that this particular drawing that I have input related with each original folder itself, right? So if I, for example, I have this drawing one and also this drawing external references stored in one folder, if I move this folder to other location, the link will still be available between these two. For example, I have this, oops, sorry, not this one. Let me just, right, so I have this particular folder, which is this location, right? So I have this external reference, also drawing, the drawing that I have saved over here. So which will be linked to this particular folder, FOL AutoCAD external reference. So if I choose to move this folder to other location, it still have the link. So the full path, which what it does, that it's not related to this particular folder itself, but the entire link from the C drive to the users, all of this particular link. So if, for example, I have a drawing files that I would like to attach reference from this folder, and that particular drawing files, I would like to, sorry about that, I would like to move on other location. As long as the attached reference stays in that location, I'm still able to maintain the link. So the best way, I believe, which is the relative files, which is allow you to move the folders. It's depend on your usage. So for this case, I'm going to press OK, and you'll start to see that my drawing has been shown over here, which is the reference file to be shown for here. So let me just turn off this grid mode temporarily so you can see it clearly. Now you can see on my external reference form here, the first one, which is my origin drawing, which is drawing 1, which is not the reference files, but rather the original drawing. So this is the reference file, so I can edit this one if I wanted to. Now, you can see some of this information. So if I click over here, there are some details that you can find from here, and there are also some status, size, type, and so on. So if I want to temporarily turn this one off, what I can do is that I can right click and select unload, and it will temporarily turn off. So if I want it back again, so I can just reload and it will be shown. Then I can use these references to draw anything that I want. For example, maybe I need to build, I needed to sketch some buildings over here. So using my background, which is from the reference, so I can sketch my building more accurate. Now, if I don't want this reference anymore, so what I can do is that I can just right click and select detach, and it will be removed from this external reference palette over here. Now let's just input it again. So I'm going to reattach my drawing files, which is the park geolocation over here. Now I have a select these attachments. Now if I click a new drawings, and I'm going to reference this drawing from drawing 1 into drawing 2. So for this case, I needed to save this one first. I'm going to save this one. Let me see. On this folder, so I'm going to save this one. And the drawing 2, I'm going to reattach that particular drawing. So for this case, I'm going to attach drawing 1 over here. And since we have selected attachment before, so that particular drawing has been shown. But if I were to select, so if I were to select overlay instead, right? So if you want to change, you can go right click and select xref types. Instead of attach, you can select overlays. So for this case, I need to save first. So if I go back to my drawing 2, now any things that I have changed over here will be specified. So I can just click over here and it will show you what has been changed. So I'm just going to click OK. Then you will see that my attach from this geolocation has been removed because I selected overlay. Right. So if I select attach, save, then this one will be appeared. All right, so for this case, I'm going to attach another one. So let me just attach another drawing. So for this case, I'm going to choose parking roads, right? So will be attached on this particular drawing. Right. And the next one is that we're going to take a look on what are the things that we can use over here. For example, once I have attached my drawing, so if I selected these reference files, so external reference will be shown. So external reference tab will be shown. So what you can do over here is that first of all, we can edit this reference in place. For example, I wanted to edit this reference file instead because you cannot edit your reference inside of this drawing. So you can click over here, and on this external reference tab, you can select edit reference in place. So it's going to allow you to edit this particular drawing, while the rest of this particular drawing will be disabled. So you cannot edit the previous drawing, but it's almost as if you open this drawing itself. So I'm going to make some changes. Say I'm going to add some circles over here. So I'm going to give it, say, so I'm going to give it green colors, and over here I can select save change, and then you can see the file has been changed as well. Right, so to edit, you can select and you can edit this particular reference in this particular drawing. So if you want to open instead, you can also select open reference. So it's going to open this the original geolocation drawing itself. Now, other thing that I might want to do is that if you go into the external reference, some of the things you can also clip. So what clip actually does is that allow you to only show some of these area that you wanted to see. For example, I only wanted to see this particular area, this box inside over here of the buildings. So I'm going to click this reference and I'm going to click clipping boundary over here. So once I click, I have a few selections. So whether I can select as a polyline, polygonal, rectangular. For this case, I may want to select rectangular. I'm going to select these boxes inside over here. Right, so only that particular drawing has been shown. Now, if I wanted to undo that, so I can also click and deleting the old boundary itself also. Now I can click and edit this reference if I want to. So I can also flip this boundary. So if you look over here, so we have this flip icon over here. So if I click this flip icon, what it's going to do is that on this clip location, that one will be disabled instead. Then the rest that has not been created will be shown instead. So you can flip which one that you want from here as well. So if you don't want the clipping, so you can also click remove clippings and it will be selected as a normal. All right, so let's go back to attaching another file. For example, if I attach one file and that particular file I want it to be on this location, so I have another building that I want to attach. So I have building plot reference. So if I directly open this one thing that you're going to notice is that this block unit over here is also specify your units, right? So if I simply press OK, then you will start to see my drawing will not be put correctly. So my building is obviously too large. So I'm going to undo that one and we're going to reattach. So again, when you attach the buildings, another drawing file, so you can specify, so make sure to specify the units correctly. For example, my drawing one, so I'm going to set it units to, this one is on inches. So for example, I want it on feet. instead. So I'm going to press OK. I'm going to attach the drawing, the building. Then you will start to see this block drawing, which is my building plot reference, is in inches. One changes, you can see the factor itself. So it's automatically divide the value from the inch and the feet. So when I press OK, my building has been shown over here. The value of the units has been set accordingly. However, for this case, my building is still a little bit large, so I don't want to play around with the units. Instead, I'm going to include this building manually. So let me just detach this one. So I'm going to attach the drawing, building reference. So for this case, instead of playing around with the units, I'm going to play around with the scales and also the insertion point. So I can specify which is the point that I want. I can specify the value over here if I wanted to. But if I wanted to specify manually, I can also click over here. And I'm going to specify the insertion point manually. So I'm going to click over here as well. So when I press OK, then it will allow me to specify which is the location that I want. So I want to pick on this point. So this one will be the location. And then once I pick, so it will ask me to specify the scale factor. So I'm going to pick X, Y, Z. And I'm going to divide this one by 100. So that will be 0.01 scale, 0.01 scale for the X, and also for the Y, 0.01 as well. When I press OK, then I'll start to see this building has been appeared. So for this case, I'm going to reset back my units to unitless because my feet obviously affect my size. So I'm going to set as a unitless. Or I can also attach as inches as well. So basically it's quite similar. So I'm going to reattach my drawing. Inches, you can see my factor is 1 since both are inch. I'm going to press OK. Click over here. The scale factor will be X, Y, and Z. And the scale factor will be divided by 100. So that will be 0.01 for the X and 0.01 for the Y. And I press enter, then you will see my drawing has been appeared on this particular area. That is some of the things that you can do to insert your drawing. So if you want to edit, you can also click and edit this particular drawing. Now, if I want this drawing to be part of my drawing one, which is the original drawing, so what I can do is that I can right click on that particular drawing and I can select bind instead. So when I select bind, and then I can select whether bind or insert. So both will insert as a block. So depend on what you want. So I'm going to pick bind. So I press OK. You can see this reference has been disappeared inside here, and yet over here is now part of my drawing. So it is blocked. So if I want to explode, so I can just press explode and it will explode as a normal sketches inside my drawing one. So it will be part of my drawing one. Right, so that is some of the things that you can do. Now, another thing is that, again, we have multiple things that we can edit from here. So maybe you wanted to input some images instead. So you can attach an image from here. So I have this sample image. So when I open and I click over here, and you can see my image has been appear over here. However, this image is as a reference. So if I move my drawing to another folder on another location, I still needed to make sure my drawing, which is my my image, has been moved as well. Right? So it's kind of a bit tedious over here. So if you want to insert a drawing inside of external reference, it's not a very good choice. So you might not want to insert as a reference file instead. So what you can do is that if you wanted to insert drawing inside of your drawing file, not as a reference, so let me just detach this file. So you can copy that particular drawing. So again, you cannot just simply copy that drawing. So if I just copy this one, so let me just copy, and I'm going to my AutoCAD. So I'm going to select Control V as a paste. Then you start to see it is still insert as a reference. You might not want to insert as a reference. What I can do is that you needed to open your drawing. So you need to edit your drawing. Let me just select everything. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to copy from here instead. So once I'm copy from here, when I'm insert this one inside my AutoCAD, so you can start to see this drawing, this picture is not part of the external reference. So there is some notes that you can take. Right, so this file will be part of my AutoCAD drawing, will be part of this drawing one. But if you insert as a reference, that one will be a reference. So if you wanted to input part of the drawing, so you can just go copy this drawing once you edit and just paste over here. Now that is for this drawing file. So again, if I input this drawing, okay, so for this case, the reference file, this reference tab does not appear. So let me just reinsert for the reference for the image. So I can also input the reference. So I have my reference over here. So if I click, so I have some editings that I can do for the reference file as well. So I can just select, increase and decrease the brightness, the contrast. I can select from here. I can set the transparency, which is the fade. Some of the things that you can select, you can edit it from here as well. Right, so the next things, you can also include PDF files. So if I have PDF files, I can select attach a PDF. So I have two sample files from here. So if your PDF files, so when I open this one, if your PDF file has a layer associated with that PDF, you can also configure inside of AutoCAD. So let me just open this one, and you can see my PDF file has been shown over here. It's still as a reference, it's not part of my drawing. So if I click over here, so I have some other settings that I can do. I can select the contrast of my drawings. I can set the fade as well. So I can display a monochrome if I want to. Some of the things that you can do, and other things you can also, so let me just select back. Other things that you can also enable the snap button. So if I wanted to draw some things, so they will allow me to snap. It will allow me to snap on my drawing file as well. So if I draw a line, so I can start to snap this one. So snap button is not available, even though this one is a reference PDF. And if this PDF has a layers, I can also go and edit my layers over here. So I can turn off some of the things that I may not want. So I may not want to see the dimension. Or maybe I don't want to see the objects. So I can turn it off. So I want to see the centers, text, some of the things I can set, configure the layers. Again, if I wanted to import the PDF as a sketches instead, so instead of using these reference files, so you can go to the view, you can go to the inserts, and then you can select on the import. So we have the PDF import, and then you can select. So for example, I have nesting syllabus over here. So when I open this one, I can select some of the page that I want. So if you have multiple pages, so it will allow you to select which page that you want. So for this, I'm going to select this one. When I press OK, then you will start to see it is now part of the drawings. So this one has been converted into a text. So I believe this one is an M text. So if I double click this one, so you can see it is an M text. Some of the things you can select, edit, and so on. Right, so that is basically some of the things that I would like to share with you about the reference files. So if you have any question, you can ask in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself. So I will stay here to try to answer your question. Now, another thing is about these reference files. So if you have 3D objects, you can also use file reference. So for example, let me just open one sample file. So I'm going to select and create a 3D files over here. Let me just section it. So again, you need to save first in order to have your drawing file to be referenced. So this is drawing 3, and I'm going to reference on drawing 4. So let me just select xref. Oops, okay, so already open here. So I'm going to attach from drawing 3. Then you will see I have my drawing has been available to be referenced. So okay, so we have one question. So one question from the CCW. So PDF file insert into AutoCAD will become mtext or exploded object. So AutoCAD will become mtext or exploded object. So the mtext appear because you have a text. So any text that you have on your PDF files, for example, I have this particular text over here. Right, so this one will be automatically converted either on the single text files or multi-line text. Right, so that one has been converted. So I have another drawing file, which is this one. This one have some lines and some text, right? That has been shown over here. So if I were to import this one not as a reference, okay, so let me just go into drawing 1. Okay, so let me just go with the let's see. Okay, insert, which is okay. So this is the insert. So if I import this one as a PDF and I select this one instead and I'll press open, it will start to see if I have multiple pages. So it will ask you. So I'm going to press OK. Then you will see this line is now I believe a polyline. So let me just go into the properties. So it is a polyline. So if it have a normal line, so it will be a normal line. So it will automatically convert. So you have some text. So right. So for some reason, this one is being converted into polyline instead. So probably because it does not able to recognize the text. So, but if you have a recognizable text, it should be able to convert it into a multi-line text, like this one, for example. Right. So for this numbering, also multi-line text. So let me see. Right. So we have some other questions. So you like to see a point cloud attached in reference. So right. So unfortunately, I don't have the point clouds on my the point cloud files available from you from here. Right. So attached coordinate files, which is for the Navis work. So for the point cloud, so I don't have this. So unfortunately, I cannot show you. But if you can share me your email, so I can try to send you some of the things that I can explain you on how we can attach the point cloud on my drawings. Right. So any other question from you guys that you would like to ask for me? So unfortunately, I cannot show you the point cloud because I don't have these point clouds files. But if you send me your email, so I will try to explain you on how we can attach this point cloud instead. Right, so I believe no more questions so far. So I will end this session for today. So thank you everybody for joining our free online lessons. And I hope I can see you guys again on our next free online lesson. So thank you everybody and have a nice day.